But this is Christopher Maloney, Fall Into the Sky, and some rather marvelous backdrops that you may recognize, which fantastic. Okay, and this seems like a really good moment to bring Philomena on and can confirm where that city was. Nice big round of applause. Philomena Pascual, everybody. Hola, bon dia.
Oh, wow.
Not in Coimbra. Not in Coimbra, I'm guessing, behind you there.
Not in Coimbra. Olá, bom dia, alegria.
Olá, bom dia. Tudo bem?
Tudo bem, obrigada. E contigo também?
Muito bem, obrigado. Alegria, muito alegria aqui esta manhã.
Sim, muita alegria, sim.
With all this music, I think that is a very cool tune. I'm guessing you recognise that city, Philomena. You spent one or two
Yes,
days there, haven't you?
Yeah, it looks like Coimbra. Yes, it does.
Yeah, and at the beginning, your now world famous metro line. Did you see that little bit of footage at the beginning of the video as well?
No, I didn't. But yeah, metro line. Yes, okay. Because we don't have it. I mean, yes, but in Miranda do Corvo, in Lausanne, Serpins, we are still waiting.
Oh, okay. So when we may talk about the video that's being made, will I be able to get the metro line out to where the video is being made? Is that possible yet?
Sorry, I didn't understand.
The video production that's happening at the end of the month, will I be able to get public transport and the shuttle bus out to where the video is being made?
Probably not. You have to have Philomena transport.
Oh, okay. Well, more about Ushtai the Gata a little bit later on, and we'll play some of their music as well, because I really enjoyed that. I think that's an excellent tune by Christopher Maloney. He does now live in Portugal. I'm not sure if he's in Coimbra or not. American singer-songwriter, bass guitarist, and music educator, widely known for his work with instrumental hard rock band Cosmo Squad and stints in Hardline and with Dweezil Zappa. Also an independent solo artist and instructor at the Musicians Institute, and I think he's doing that from Portugal now. So he moves among us here in Portugal, and I think that's a great tune. Very glad to have been introduced to that by Debbie last night.
Mick Jagger was in Coimbra lately. Yeah. Recently.
Mick Jagger seems to have been everywhere. He was here for a week, but he seemed to pop up in every single town across Portugal. I don't know if that resonates with you, but yeah, he was all over the place here in Portugal, even popping in from time to time on the Good Morning Portugal show as well. There, look, he's right next to you now. So where are you, and how has it inspired our conversation this morning, would you say? Look at that. Can we guess? Oh, you're in England. You're at Brighton, right?
Of course. With this sun and everything, I must be in England.
The heat, the searing heat. It must be Brighton and Hove on our south coast. You're next door, aren't you?
I am next door. Yes.
Yes.
Hello.
And in Benidorm, I believe, although it recently renamed possibly as Menidorm, right? I think you found yourself. Oh, that's not Paolo, is it? With his swimming suit
it's
on?
It's not.
Okay. What have you been up to in Menidorm?
Well, for 15 years now, they have organized the town hall, the city hall, organizes the Pride Parade. Mm-hmm. So it was this year's Pride Parade, Benidorm Pride Parade.
You happened to come across the Pride Parade while you were there. Wow. Okay. And how is it? Are you enjoying yourself in Benidorm?
Yes, I always enjoy myself in Benidorm. That's why I keep coming. I don't come every year, but usually every 2 years I do keep coming. And I usually come to this place, my favorite place, because it's right in front of the beach. As you can see from my balcony, I can see the sea, the beach. So I love it here.
Yeah, it looks wonderful. It looks very peaceful. Looking out on the meadow.
It is. It's not like the usual idea that the people have from Benidorm, because when you speak of Benidorm and people go, "Oh my goodness, it's so crowded and it's awful," but not here, not in this part. It's a Levante beach, and this part of Benidorm, it's very calm. As you can see, the beach is like this. You have
Yeah,
plenty of
looks
space,
lovely. Looks
right?
lovely.
And it's very very quiet, very and of course, except when the British start partying, but
Yeah. Oh gosh.
but no,
I can only
but that's
apologize.
later on. That's later on at about 5 or 6 p.m. Yeah, but
Oh,
it's
okay. Yeah.
not. It's later on when the British start partying, singing. But until then, it's very peaceful, and even after 5 or 6, it's still peaceful. But
Oh, I'm glad to
um,
hear it.
I
I'm glad to hear it.
I like it.
Yeah, and that's the way often, isn't it? With tourist areas, people get put off by the excesses and extremes, but there's a
Mhm.
reason why people go there. So it's like the same with
Yeah.
Albufeira, isn't it? It's very
Well, my
beautiful.
my main reason is the temperature of the sea,
Yeah. Oh,
because
okay. Yes.
here
Yeah.
is the Mediterranean. So in the Mediterranean, you can go in without being ouch, 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 ouch.
I get it. I get it. Because yeah, whenever I say to the Portuguese, I swim in the sea here, they're like, no, we don't really do that.
No,
Yeah.
I
So
used
going.
to when I was young. I was brave enough, but nah, not anymore.
Okay, all right. So lots of great things to talk about. People have been inspired by your idea this morning, Philomena, about how Spanish may or may not help you with your Portuguese. And there are other cultural
Hmm.
things that I hope you'll help us with this morning, like alatria, bon dia alatria, broa. There's a controversy about broa bread here, and
Uh-huh.
lots of talk about Spain this morning. So we'll have a look at a few of their comments that are coming in from our wonderful audience here. Let's start with on this note of speaking Spanish and how it might help. T Duck, I speak Spanish and it's very useful in reading Portuguese, but it's not very helpful in hearing and understanding. Is that the gist of it? Is that what you were getting at with this?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Okay. I It's great to visit as Philomena is doing right now
Yeah.
as we speak to her on our balcony. I enjoy being able to communicate, but I would not want to live there. The Spanish girl in a class didn't understand the word gravida.
Yeah, that's one of the
No,
words that is completely different. Yeah.
is it right?
Embarazada. Yeah,
Okay.
in Spanish is embarazada.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's very different, isn't it? It doesn't seem to share the Latin root that sometimes we see with French,
Yeah.
Spanish, and Portuguese. Yeah, I mean, you couldn't wish for a different, like a variety, diversity of sounds there for the same condition. Let's call it gravida, enceinte, embarazada.
Yeah.
It's
Pregnant.
being
Yeah.
embarrassed is being pregnant in Spain.
Embarrassed. Yeah. Yes, because embarazada in Portuguese is embarrassed.
It's amazing,
If you
isn't
say
it?
embarazada in Portuguese, it means embarrassed. It's not
Good
nothing to
heaven.
do with pregnant.
Yes, and it may or may not be connected with being pregnant. A long time ago, I was an
Oh.
exchange student in Mexico City. At the dinner table, the conversation was about Mexican history. I wanted to say, I'm an American, I'm excused. What I actually said was, Soy americano, estoy excusado. And what you in fact said was, I'm an American, I'm a toilet. I couldn't figure out why everyone was laughing. Very good. The word for excused in Spanish is disculpado. I will never forget this. So that's one that does
Yeah,
work, doesn't
in
it?
Portuguese, that word in Portuguese is almost the same. Desculpado.
Very,
Desculpado in Portuguese and desculpado in Spanish.
very good. Okay. Thanks for the dad joke, Joao Ernesto. We will incorporate that and we will go out with Never Gonna Give You Up. And we will be playing music from Ustay de Gatas as well, because we want to talk about them as well whilst we have Philomena with us. Any questions you've got about the Portuguese culture or language, we're doing a special on the connection with Spanish today. And I have to say as well, thank you so much for the translation you did, Philomena. That worked like a charm with the British government. They were very happy with your work, as was I. So don't forget, Philomena does translations as well of Portuguese
Yeah,
documents. So thank you very much for
yeah. I'm,
doing
I'm
that.
glad you got the passport now.
Yeah, yeah,
You
all
got it,
sorted.
or you
It's
are
in
you
our
waiting for it?
hands. Yes,
Ah, okay,
absolutely.
I
Yeah,
got it. Yeah.
And the shout out to the His Majesty's Passport Office as well. They really are very good. It's one of the things that works really well in the United Kingdom if you're looking for such inspiration and the exceptions that might prove the rule at the moment. Right. So tell us more then on how we can get ourselves into hot water, or I guess agua caliente, which might be different in
Or
Spanish.
in Spanish, agua caliente.
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 Right. Yeah. And there's a first sort of clue. It is when it's a bit like when you're speaking Italian, you start to gesture more, don't you? The language lends itself to posture. And it's the same with Spanish, isn't it? The Spanish lends itself to outbursts and speaking louder, I
Yeah,
think. Is that fair to say?
me piace parlare italiano.
See, that's right, absolutely. And it's the same with Spanish, isn't it? As soon as you start to speak it, you start moving differently. So tell us more, Philomena. Where are the confusions?
No, I have thought of some words that in everyday life situation I come across, and it's if you don't know at all the meaning of the word, you are completely lost because the Portuguese
Mm,
don't have those words, right? So, for example, starting with the very beginning with holidays, férias in
yes.
Portuguese,
See.
férias, and in Spanish is
I don't know.
remember the American English word.
Oh,
What is the American
vacation.
English?
Is it
So
vacation?
vacaciones,
Vacaciones! Yes. And I want to shout
vacaciones.
it.
Um,
Vacaciones. Yes.
vacaciones. Then some means of transport, like for example, coche. What is coche?
Coche. Is it a kiss?
Coche. It's a car. A car. If you
Yeah,
travel
we're
by
car.
car, it's coche.
Right. Coche,
Carro. So
really? Oh, as
in
in coach. As in coach, of course. Yeah.
so in Spanish coche, and in Portuguese we say carro. Okay.
Carro. Yes. Yes, carro.
Then
Okay.
the bus is easier for the English to understand, but not the Portuguese. Autobus.
Yes.
Autobus is autocarro. Autocarro in Portuguese. Autocarro, autobus.
Very
And
good. Okay.
also, the train is also easy for the English to understand, but not for the Portuguese because it's tren, tren,
No
like in
way.
train. Yes, tren.
Okay. Right.
And
Right.
in Portuguese, how do you say train?
Comboio.
Yeah, muito bem, Carlitos.
Obrigado. Obrigado. Yeah,
Comboio,
very
right?
interesting.
So
Yes,
I have
comboio.
written a few words that I thought,
Yeah,
randomly.
thank you.
So,
Thank you.
for example, a hat, you say in Portuguese, chapéu, right?
Chapéu.
Chapéu,
See,
like in
chapéu.
French, chapeau, chapéu. But in Spanish, you say sombrero,
Of course you
sombrero, of
do.
course,
Yes,
sombrero, the
sombrero.
Mexican
Yeah.
sombrero.
Yeah.
If you are speaking about the beach umbrella, then you say sombrilla, sombrilla. And in Portuguese, you say chapéu de praia, chapéu de praia,
A beach hat.
a
Isn't
beach
that
hat.
great?
So
A beach
una
hat.
sombrilla, una sombrilla. Then, if you want to say a chair, do you know how to say a chair in Spanish?
No, no
In
idea.
Portuguese?
I forget. I knew you'd ask me that.
Okay, no problem.
Not a cadella,
Cad-
that's a puppy, isn't it?
Not a cadella. Cadella is a
Puppy.
female dog. Cadella is a female dog,
I'm getting
but
myself
it's
in a
similar.
lot of trouble. Cadena.
Yeah. Cadela can also have another meaning. Cadela can be apanhar uma cadela is to get drunk.
Oh,
Okay.
really? Okay, so you need
Yeah.
a chair.
But
Okay.
cadeira in Portuguese
Yes.
cadeira, and
Uh-huh.
then in Spanish is completely different. Una silla, silla.
See,
So
T-Duck
silla
T-Duck really
and the
does know his
Portuguese.
Spanish. You see that? T-Duck's quite the authority on Spanish, it would appear. So he is finding that useful, except when we find ourselves in these situations. Philomen, I think you might have frozen. The water's warm, but the internet's frozen. right now. So let's see what happens there. I think what we might do while we have a little bit of a freeze on the screen, frio or fresca in Portuguese. I don't know what that is in Spanish. Maybe T Duck can help me out with that. But whilst we're waiting for Filomena to unfreeze, it's a lovely sort of postcard shot of her overlooking the Med there. Let's go to the band we want to talk about today. And this is Ushai de Gatos, and I've been invited to take part in a video they're making, which I'm delighted to accept that invitation. So I'll play this, and we'll see if we can get Filomena back whilst this is playing. Ushai de Gatos, and we've laughed about this before. This is being on all fours, isn't it? It's like leaving like a cat on all fours, and I think this is what tends to happen at the parties that they organise. Okay, Ushai de Gatos, now me faz bem.
Não, eu não quero ir trabalhar, ter de me levantar sem saber por quem. E para além disso não sei se não fosse a filha do patrão, que esta dedicação só me ficava bem. E trabalhar não me faz bem. E olha o que chove, e olha o que chove, e não me importa que falem com desdém. Assim não me convém. Por isso ir trabalhar não me faz bem. Vai lá ver se chove, vai lá ver se chove, e não me importa o que diz a tua mãe. Eu estou muito bem. Eu já sei, vão-me despedir. Já fiquei a sorrir, isto é de valor. Para além do mais ainda sei o quão bom é preguiçar, beber e folhear, ter um pouco de amor. E trabalhar não me faz bem. E olha o que chove, e olha o que chove, e não me importa que falem com desdém. Vai trabalhar, pá. Assim não me convém. Por isso ir trabalhar não me faz bem. Vai lá ver se chove, vai lá ver se chove, e não me importa o que diz a tua mãe. Eu estou muito bem. Sou o patrão. Vai trabalhar, pá. Já vou. Eu é que sou o patrão. E trabalhar não me faz bem. E olha o que chove, e olha o que chove, e não me importa que falem com desdém. Assim não me convém. Por isso ir trabalhar não me faz bem. Já vou. Vai lá ver se chove, vai lá ver se chove, e não me importa o que diz a tua mãe. Eu estou muito bem.
Very, very good. Welcome back. Oh no, have you frozen again, Filomena? It might be the hotel. The Brits have just woken up after their partying, and they're all looking at their smartphones now. So we've got a bit of a difficulty with Filomena and her connection to the show. Thank you very much, Filomena. However, on making this connection. Oh, there you go. You're back now. You're back. Sit very still, but
yeah,
not so
I think
still
my
that I can't tell
connection
if
is not very.
It's a hotel one, probably, isn't it? I was just saying the British have just woken up and they're all going on their phones after a bit of a binge last night, perhaps. Okay, we've got questions. Whilst we have you on the screen, let's get into these. Whilst the connection is good, I love Philomena. Pam's here this morning. Pam, always a great person to talk to when it comes to learning Portuguese. I think she needs some help here. Can you give some tips on pronouncing the letter J or Jota? Lots of people pronounce it in the Spanish way. So yes, J in Spanish and Portuguese then for us.
Yeah, like
Okay.
Julio, for example. Julio.
Yes. Jesus.
Jesus.
Yes. And in Portuguese then, when we're using Jota over here,
Julio.
someone smashed the like button and upset your connection again, I think, Philomena, perhaps.
Julio.
I'm guessing that's not how you use the J in Portuguese with the so je. Thank you very much for that, T-Duck, as well. Everyone's helping out here this morning. Yeah, you're back again now. Let's see how this goes.
Okay. So we were speaking about silla, cadeira, and I wanted to say that we also, in Spanish, there is also the word cadera, caderas, but they don't mean chairs, of course. Caderas in Spanish. Okay. Oh,
I don't think I got that.
Not good at all.
Cadera in Spanish is. We can make it a quiz. Everybody,
cadera,
what is cadera in Spanish?
Cadera in Spanish, cadera in Portuguese is anca. Anca.
Oh, okay. Yes.
What is that in English? Hip. That's right. Hip. The hip.
Okay.
Caderas.
Okay. Sorry, I thought you meant anchor as in what you find on a boat. Okay, so anchor as in okay.
Anca. Anca in Portuguese, anca, hip in English, and cadera in Spanish. But of course, cadeira in Portuguese means chair, and in Spanish, silla. So as you can see, very, very simple, not confusing at all.
Not at all. And I'm just trying to imagine all the great situations you could find yourself in and the fun you could have with these mispronunciations.
If you want the hip to sit down on.
Or if you want to call yourself a toilet, we've been taught how to do that by T-Duck this morning. Tonio's here. Morning greetings from a foggy Villanova de Cerveira. Wishing you all a happy Friday and a wonderful weekend. Thanks, bit of a man in the Minho just popping in for a moment there. I have to say, Philomena, your Spanish accent is beautiful. It just sounds completely authentic to me. Did you hear my compliment there? I think your Spanish accent is amazing. I think we've got just a lovely smiley picture of there we go. Do you know what? I'm going to send her a screenshot of that because basically that's a lovely postcard picture of Philomena on her holiday in Benidorm, as we've renamed it. There you go. She's back again now. Anca, she's also a place in
the island of Benidorm.
Seriously, hold on a minute. The Benidorm is an island as well as a coastal town as well,
no,
or is it an area?
It has an island. It has a little island. This little island there, you can visit by boat or by swimming. You can also do, but it's a bit far. But this little island is called Isla de Benidorm. Isla, which means of course ilha in Portuguese. It's another different word. Ilha and isla in Spanish, Isla de Benidorm.
Yes, yeah, okay, very good. Thank you for that. It's the Belingish of in terms of comparisons. Then I would say more coming in from the comments. I like to watch the cycling. And sorry, go on, carry on.
I just read a comment about the names of the days of the week.
Oh yeah.
Yes, the days of the week are different. The days of the week in Portuguese, yes, they come. It was São Martinho de Dume, a bishop in Braga, that changed the days of the week in Portuguese in the 6th century. because he didn't want those pagan names, because the pagan names,
Disgusting.
the Greek, the Roman gods and goddesses and planets, like lunes in Spanish. Okay, let's say lunes is Monday, and of course it's the day of the moon. And then
Yes,
you have
Lundi.
martes, which is the day of Mars. And you have miércoles, which is the day of Mercury. And you have jueves, jueves is the day of Jupiter. And you have viernes, the day of Venus. But in Portuguese, the Bishop of Braga, São Martinho, the Doom, it didn't want any of that. It was too pagan. So he, in the 6th century, he decided to do the Roman Catholic name of segunda-feira, terça-feira, quarta-feira, quinta-feira, sexta-feira. He just kept sábado as Sabatum, the day of rest, the resting day, and domingo, which is the day of the Lord, Domenica or Dominica Dias, the day of the Lord. So these are the days of the week in Spanish are also completely different. Lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, viernes, except
See,
sábado and domingo, which are the same.
your Spanish accent is beautiful, and it's like in the French, isn't it? Lundi, mardi, mercredi, jeudi,
Oui, and
vendredi.
oui,
Yes.
oui, and in Italian and in French, it's just the English version is a little bit different because they also had influences from, for example, of course, the king, the god of war and things like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
in general, all the European languages, they all follow more or less the same pattern for the days of the week, except Portugal, because of our São Martinho de Doom in Braga.
Yes, very good. Okay, and he tried to replace the months as well, apparently, but that didn't stick as well. And Joao Ernesto saying, yeah,
No,
he replaced with
yeah,
second day, third,
yeah,
fourth.
because
Yes, he says it's a
for the
day off.
Roman, because for the Catholic Church, Sunday is the first day because it's the day
Yes,
of the
right.
resurrection of Jesus. So
Yes,
for the Catholics, is Sunday is the first day. So
yes.
the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth. Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes sense. And Roman Catholic wasn't a term until the 11th century, just before the Great Schism. Wow, the Great Schism. Which sounds like an album that came out in the 70s. Right. But it predates that. Now, Pam is still
No.
upset, I think, about Jay's here. She says she likes to watch the cycling, and it annoys me when people can't pronounce João or João Almeida's
João
name.
Almeida.
João Almeida. It sounds like
Yeah.
Chow. It is. Do you know the worst Portuguese pronouncer on the planet is Google Maps. That woman, and also she
Yeah.
reads it really slowly. So you've missed the turning when it's Professora Doutor Rua do Doutor Professora João Maria Rodrigo, and just
And
like,
then
oh,
gone.
yeah, but she's like Rua Dom Joao. She's terrible.
Yeah, but the problem
Right.
here is also not just because of the J, but because of the nasal ow,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And nasals, remember, nasalate your vowels. You
Nasally
have to
every morning,
nasalate your
everybody.
vowels.
Yes.
So
Yes.
ow. So João is also, it's two problems together. It's the J and the ow.
It
João.
is. João. And once you've got it, you've got it, though. So keep practicing that. This has been lovely today. Agree, Google
Well,
Maps is terrible.
I've thought of lots of other words if you want to go through
Give
them
us a
and
few more,
try to
please.
guess.
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay,
Go ahead.
so paloma.
A bird.
Okay,
Dove.
it's a pigeon. Okay, but in Portuguese, pomba, and in Spanish, paloma.
Pomba. Okay.
Glasses. How do you say glasses in Portuguese?
Espectáculos. Oculos.
Óculos, óculos.
Oculos. Right.
In Spanish, gafas, gafas.
Gafas.
Las
Well, that's not
gafas, gafas.
okay. I think we win that.
How do you say fato de banho? Fato de banho, Portuguese, fato de banho, bathing suit. And in
Right.
Spanish, bañador, bañador,
Bañador. I have to
bañador.
say, you may have noticed that I think something happens when you've been in Portugal for a while is you become very protective and competitive and you want everything in Portugal to be better than in Spain. But I have to say, bañador, I do prefer. It's like, fetch me my bañador. I'm going to the beach.
Bañador.
Yeah.
By the way, a tip for everyone. Don't speak Portuguese in Spain and don't speak Spanish in Portugal,
Correct.
okay?
Yes. Unwritten rule. You heard it here. Yes.
It's not the right way to go. Not the
No,
right way to go.
don't
Okay?
do it. Don't do that.
Don't do it. Then, bottle. How do you say? That's easy. Bottle.
Your boat? Barco.
No. Garrafa in Portuguese.
Oh,
Garrafa.
okay. Yes. Garrafa aquí. Oh, what is it in Spain? Because the Brits need to know that one, don't they?
Botella. Una botella.
Yeah.
Botella
Waiter,
and
another botella over here, please. Two more, in fact.
botella and garrafa. Botella.
Yeah.
Botella and garrafa. If you want fino, you know the beer, right? Fino or Imperial in Lisbon.
Imperial,
How do you say
yeah.
that in Spanish?
Cerveja.
Una caña.
Really?
Una caña. Una caña. It's the same as the draft beer. The bottle of beer.
Okay, that's interesting. Caña. Okay.
Caña.
Very good.
Caña with a till on the end. Of course, we don't have that in Portuguese keyboard, but caña. Then if you want an espresso, like the Portuguese like the espresso coffee, right?
See?
You say, in Portuguese, you can say bica, but in Spanish, you have to say café solo. Café solo.
Café solo. Okay.
Café solo.
Wow.
Breakfast. If you have your breakfast, in Portuguese, you say pequeno almoço. In Spanish, you say...
Oh,
in Spanish,
don't know.
desayuno.
Really?
Desayuno. Okay? Desayuno,
Right.
pequeno almoço. Then, your dinner. If you go out for dinner, so a dinner is cena. Una cena.
Right. Very different.
Cena. But we also have the word cena, which means a scene. For example, a scene from a movie or anything, scene, cena. But cena in Spanish is dinner. And there is the verb cenar. Cenar. Okay.
Right. Okay. A question from Mr. S. Which part of Spain? Because we are talking about Spanish rather than Catalan here, aren't we?
Yes. I'm not speaking about any part of Spain in particular. Then chicken. How do you say chicken?
In Polo? I'm guessing in Spanish.
Pollo. Yes, very good. Pollo. Pollo, chicken. If you want to eat some pork, you find on the menu
Porco?
Cerdo. No. Cerdo.
Really?
No. Cerdo.
Wow.
Turkey. If you want to eat turkey.
Peru here. I don't know what it is.
Peru, in Portuguese, Peru. Yes. And in Spanish, pavo.
Pavo. Okay.
Pavo. Right. If you want beef, in English, beef, in Portuguese, carne de vaca or vitela. And in Spanish, ternera. Ternera.
Right.
Okay. And a steak, you can say in Spanish, bisteca, as in a steak in English, bisteca. Then chickpeas, for example, garbanzos.
Garbanzos.
Yeah.
They've got that. Yeah.
And in Portuguese, grão de bico. Peas, ervilhas, and in Spanish, guisantes.
Right, okay. So many differences.
Beans, if you want beans, in Portuguese, feijões. In Spanish, alubias.
Right.
Then if you want pasta, of course, in Spanish, you also say pasta, but in Portuguese, we say massa. Mm-hmm.
Well, we also say maçã, and Pam says apples are very different. So what's apple in Spanish?
Manzana. It's not very, very different. I mean, manzana, For a Portuguese, it's easy to understand, I think, manzana. Yes, the Spanish pronounce all their vowels, yes. Then, if we say the cutlery in Spanish is los cubiertos is the cutlery, which in Portuguese is talheres. Talheres. But if you say taller in Spanish, it means a car mechanic workshop. Taller it's a mechanic workshop.
Great fun.
And in Portuguese, for a car workshop, we say oficina. Oficina in Spanish means escritório in Portuguese, which is an office.
Yeah.
So there is a mess about mechanics and office and the cutlery. Everything goes okay. Then a spoon. You say cuchara, una cuchara, and in Portuguese, colher. Then a fork. You say garfo, and in Spanish, tenedor.
And the big question, obviously, what is knife? Because we love it in Portuguese.
in Portuguese is faca. And in Spanish, cuchillo.
That's much easier on the ear. Yes.
Then, for example, I have seen in the comments the dog, right? Dog in Portuguese, cão, and it's perro. Un perro in Spanish.
Wow.
Then a ball, playing a football, you say in Spanish, pelota, una pelota. But in Portuguese, if you say pelota, pelota means naked, okay? But in Spanish, pelota is a ball. Then fruit, for example, you have melancia in Portuguese, melancia, watermelon. And in Spanish, sandia. Right. Melancia in Portuguese. Then morango in Portuguese, morango, strawberry. And in Spanish, fresa. Pineapple, ananas in Portuguese, in Spanish, piña.
Yes, I have seen that. Yes, piña.
The peach, pêssego in Portuguese, pêssego. In Spanish, melocotón. Then banana in Portuguese, and in Spanish is plátano. Then you also have other differences, like, for example, to speak about your hair, you say cabelo in Portuguese, and in Spanish is pelo. That's why you have peluqueria as opposed to cabeleireiro, right? That's a very good word. Cabeleireiro and peluqueria in Spanish. Then also animals like a dolphin, for example, is delfin. Yes. A dolphin. Then speaking about hotels.
In Portuguese, can you remind us what dolphin is in Portuguese?
Golfinho.
Golfinho.
Golfinho. Then to say a room, a double room or a single room, a room is in Spanish habitación, and cuarto in Portuguese, right? Habitación, cuarto.
There is no sound in Portuguese of the th, is there, that we find interesting sometimes in music in Spanish, right?
No. Then una ducha. Yeah. So, ducha, it's in Portuguese chuveiro, a shower. Ducha, chuveiro, shower. Then grifo. Do you know in Spanish grifo?
I don't know that.
No, it's in Portuguese torneira. What is torneira? A tap.
Yes, like a faucet.
So,
yeah.
Torneira and grifo in Spanish. Una calle, rua, down there, calle, and Portuguese rua, a street. If it's a road, you say in Portuguese estrada, and in Spanish carretera, estrada.
Well, as Andero says, it's almost like two different languages.
Yes, they are. They are two different languages.
Yeah.
Then, for example, speaking of roads and toll roads, you say toll in Portuguese, portagem, and in Spanish you say viaje, viaje. Then a window, you say janela in Portuguese, ventana in Spanish, una ventana. Isla, okay. The colors, red, we say vermelho, the Spanish say rojo, rojo, again with the J there, rojo. Gray, we say cinzento, the Portuguese, the Spanish say gris, gris. It's a lot more similar to English. Then also similar to French, marron, marron. Marron is brown, and in Portuguese, castanho, castanho.
Yes.
So then if you speak about fish in a menu, for example, you have the word pescado, pescado, pescado. And in Portuguese, peixe, peixe and pescado. For example, hake or whiting, we say pescada, and in Spanish, merluza. Merluza.
Thank you. That's also a mystery revealed. So pescada is hake or whiting fish. Okay, that's good to know. I didn't know that.
Yeah, or whiting. Yeah, pescada and merluza in Spanish. Calamares, everyone knows because calamari. But calamares in Portuguese, lulas. Lulas, calamares. Then good. You have also some verbs like cerrar. Cerrar is to close. So if something is closed, is cerrado. But cerrar in Portuguese is to saw with a like a saw, you know.
Yes, cerrar. The edge. Oh, yes, cerrar de estrella.
It's completely different because cerrar in Spanish is to close. Olvidar is to forget. Esquecer in Portuguese, esquecer, and olvidar in Spanish. Un bocadillo is a sandwich, and we say sanduíche or sandwich. Sanduíche in Portuguese, sandwich, and in Spanish, un bocadillo.
Little mouthful.
Hambre, fome in Portuguese, hunger. So fome in Portuguese, hambre in Spanish. Embarazada, as you have said before, pregnant. So grávida in Portuguese and embarazada in Spanish. Then if you want to say, for example, to someone, please speak slower. Estás a confundir-me. Despacio in Spanish is devagar in Portuguese, right? Devagar, slowly, and in Spanish, despacio.
Wow.
The fridge, for example, we say frigorífico, also a long word, frigorífico, and in Spanish is nevera.
That's rubbish. Spain, that's rubbish because I like to walk into my kitchen and go, refrigio! It sounds magnificent, doesn't it?
The computer, for example, we say computador, and the Spanish say ordenador.
Yes, the French.
A peanut. Amendoim.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Amendoim. And in Spanish is cacahuete. Cacahuete.
Yeah, they've got it there.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, cacahuete. Yes, about similar again to the French.
Can you hear me?
You are breaking up a little bit.
Cacahuete is okay. It's too much Spanish now.
Well, we are approaching peak Spanish, but it has been very fascinating to see the similarities and the differences, and come to the conclusion, of course, that you can't necessarily rely on your Portuguese, on your Spanish knowledge to help you with your Portuguese.
My point here today is, don't think that Portuguese and Spanish are very, very similar and not at all the same language. Okay.
Correct.
That's my point.
Yeah, and as João and Esther says, yes, absolutely. Grammar can be similar, but the words not so much.
Very different from Spanish.
Thank you very much for that. That should be a little short there to just leave everyone in no doubt whatsoever.
Grammar is not the same as well. No. That is
John. Nice try.
Grammar is not the same. Okay,
John. I knew that. Right. I live in Torrevieja, Spain.
For example, I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
I'm learning Spanish now. I can't learn Portuguese because it's hard language. Yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah, Voltex, nice to see. Philomena, we have to go. We have to go because we've got a tune to play as well. We'll have to share the information about
Sure.
Ostia de Gatos separately.
Yeah.
We'll do that over at the Portugal Club. Just a couple of very interesting things
Yeah,
before we
next
do.
month.
Add a dad joke. Yep, go on.
Next month we can speak about next month we can speak about the video that we are going to record with
Yep.
Usai de Gatos.
I'm looking forward to that. That's fantastic. And really enjoy playing their tune, which also featured Coimbra this morning. And whoa, broa is not necessarily cornbread. Now, I didn't know that. Thank you very much for that, Rui. And a dad joke then to send us on our way. Before we play Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley, this is for Del and Mrs. Del, guests and great friends of Andeiro staying in Portugal at the moment. I went to a psychic the other day. I knocked on the door and she said, "Yes, who is it?" So I left. Very good. Thank you, Philomena. Enjoy your ferias, vacaciones over there next door in Spain. Thank you so much for sharing with us everything that you shared with us this morning.
Vacaciones.
And so
Muchas
much.
gracias. Muchas gracias.
De
Muchas
nada.
gracias.
Nada. Okay. And that was the other observation, actually. You know, Italian, you speak Italian, it's buongiorno, and you start getting into it. And then French, it'd be enchanté, madame. And you would want to kiss somebody's hand and all their cheeks and everything. And in Spanish, you know, it's like vacaciones.
Buongiorno.
Yes.
Buongiorno.
The Portuguese, there doesn't seem to be a body posture necessarily for the Portuguese, right? It's more, I don't know what would be the gestalt or the physicality of the Portuguese language. It's not as obvious as those other three, is it?
No, the Portuguese. Well, the Portuguese language can sound a little less
effusive,
with less melody, let's say.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's just interesting, isn't it? I mean, and in some ways easier because you can wind it in and dial it down a bit. And, you know, for an example, I keep seeing this advert on YouTube. It's like, "So Pedro." And that is El So Pedro. This guy's introducing himself. But all you hear is, "So Pedro."
So Pedro.
That's how you do it.
Yes.
That's how you speak Portuguese. Right.
Yeah, and that's and just a final note. But when someone said that if the grammar is the same, is not exactly the same. For example, a very simple example is the past tense. The past tense is completely different. And for example, if you say en la calle, and in Portuguese you put the preposition and the article together, and you say na rua, na, na, which is the preposition and the article together. And in Spanish, no, they have the preposition and the article, as in English, in the street, but not in Portuguese.
All right.
We put everything together.
Okay, I think João might be referring to some of the structure there, but point taken. Yes, these are two different.
Yes, of course.
I'm pushing buttons so that we can play music. And muito obrigado. Thank you so much, Philomena. Have a lovely time. Love to you and Paolo over there. And we'll see you at the end of the